I get by with a little help from my friends. Yeah, I get high.
Hi, and welcome to our spoiler review of Ttyl. And it is a book that is, well, let's call it fascinating.
Looks kind of harmless.
Yeah, looks kind of harmless, but I guarantee it'll rot your brain. But it might be enjoyable.
Yeah, well, it's hard for us to admit, but we did actually really like reading it. It's not that we liked the book, we liked reading it because we kind of turned it into a game.
Yeah, we'd pass it back and forth between a few people, and we'd actually write in it, which on a normal book would be like a sacrilege, but on this one it actually fits. And so we get some pretty awesome comments after a while.
So we started leaving notes for each other in the book, and so we're going to pass it on to more friends, and we're going to get more comments, and
so that was entertaining.
yeah, lots of fun.
And we're actually kind of looking forward to reading the other ones. I don't know what's wrong with it. It's kind of like hard candy. It rots your teeth.
Yeah, but you kind of get some sick enjoyment out of it. And
yeah. Okay, so that's what this book is. It's colored like hard candy, and it is hard candy. Yeah.
So, as we said in the review, this book follows our three characters, and of course we are reading their MSN, or chat conversations. So, you know, they get home from school and, oh my god, I'm gonna go online when we only have dial-up.
Yeah. That was an interesting moment because
the one girl's like, oh, she's not, her phone's busy. Oh, wait, maybe she's on the internet. And there was a moment where we're like,
oh god, this was the days when they only used dial-up. Oh.
That noise, remember that dial-up noise?
Oh my god. So yeah, this book is a little outdated.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of outdated references to things like Lizzie McGuire.
That 70s show.
There's some music
Seventh
in there.
Heaven. I think they talk about Seventh Heaven at some point.
Yeah, so it kind of dates the book. I remember these things, but I'm not sure if I was 15 and picking up this book, and I'm pretty much gonna guess that mostly 15-year-olds are picking up this book.
Do you think that there are some 15-year-olds who have read this who honestly think that the things that the author mentions are made up?
What do you mean made up? Like the references are made up?
Yeah, like they're stuff that doesn't actually exist. And
I don't know, maybe. I mean, they might be young enough to remember a bit of Lizzie McGuire.
Yeah. Or
I don't know.
Hilary Duff writes teen fiction now, eh?
Yeah. That's on our list somewhere, so I guess you'll see more of Lizzie McGuire.
Yeah. So, we have our three lovely ladies. I guess we should talk about Angela first, because she was the one that hit me the hardest with her ridiculous, over-dramatic posts in this book. Just like, everything had actions, just being like, dead fate. Or,
oh my god, there were some epic ones where she was like, I'm embarrassed, so I'm putting my head in the toilet. I was like, what does that even have to do with being embarrassed?
So this makes it made me wonder if I were to go back and say read the MSN conversations that I had when I was 15. Did I write like this? Did I have a style? I think I remember using full sentences, and I think I did that just because everybody else was using chat speak, and I was just trying to be different. But
it was pretty much like, I would use short forms like talk to you later, or BRB, or LOL, but
to the level each girl, like Angela is like all about the short forms, and all about the actions, and all about she's the one that butchers the English language. Like the other two are a little bit better. Like I think it's Zoe she's the one who kind of uses full sentences, just not capitalization. I am being a English snob right now.
It wasn't as grammatically bad as we made it out to be in our review, but you know, it's really hard to read. I found that much. Like, it was hard to keep the characters straight. When you had two of them, like you do at the end, because one of them starts talking to the other two, when you have two of them, it's perfect. And I liked it, actually, by that point.
It made better sense just to have the two, but to have balancing three people was kind of difficult.
And you're like, wait, this person has strict parents, no. This person has a boy problem, no, that was the other girl, but they're both talking about boys, and it was hard.
They're each kind of defined by one specific characteristic. Like, some of the problems that they do have are similar, because Zoe, she's the one,
Yeah.
Zoe's the one with the teacher. She has the boy problem, because does the teacher like her? Like, all the other three girls having boy problems. And I mean, there's Maddie with that guy. So that can kind of run into each other. Oh, that guy who works at the restaurant with her, remember
that? Yeah. See, I got her confused with Angela at that point. Yeah. It was bad. Yeah, so they do get really confusing. They run into each other, and as you can see, we're both kind of
stumped.
Yeah. But yeah, they are defined by one very specific characteristic, and if you can't keep them straight, you're not the only one. So when the last character drops out of the conversation for the end, I was actually really happy. I hated her.
Oh yeah, she was a bit of a mean-hearted
soul.
Like,
her friend was actually into, like, getting into, like, Catholicism, and she was, like, excited about it, and all she can be is, like, no, what's wrong with you? You gonna go to church now? Like, I was like, back off. Clearly this is becoming a sensitive issue because you keep nagging on it. Yeah. So she doesn't even want to talk to you anymore, so stop.
But that could go along with the whole, like, the plot of the book got really forced. Like, if you read the book, there's no real plot, because it is just the conversations talking about what's already happened. So you hit these points when, you know, something is said to create tension, and it just comes right out of left field.
Oh my god! Do you remember that point where they're like, I thought she didn't like drinking because her father's an alcoholic?
And you're just like, this was never said before, you know? This would be something that would have an effect on the character.
But it's not exactly going to come up in everyday conversation, but you never even mentioned that her father even had some kind of problem or issue, and then maybe revealed that he has an alcohol problem. Nothing.
You could have easily worked this into the story earlier on, because Angela goes to parties, and, you know, she could have been earlier on say, hey, why don't you come to this party? And it could have kind of been alluded to, not full on said, but putting that so, like, further into the plot of the story that it just comes out, and then it's just like, drinking problem!
And then it's dropped.
Yeah,
and then it's completely dropped. So, yeah, it's not very good at setting things up. And
I feel bad to say that even though Angela is probably the craziest character, like, probably the most unstable, she has the most normal teenage problem.
Yeah.
Like, the problem that probably every teenage girl can identify with at some point. But she's, like, to the extreme of it.
Yeah.
Like, the other two girls, like, the popular crowd storyline, and
that one gets pretty bad.
Yeah, and the church friend teacher storyline. Those are those stories that you kind of, you know someone who that's happened to, but you know of someone, you don't actually experience it.
Well, the popular girl, she sent a picture of Maddie topless dancing on a table at a frat party where there was alcohol and booze and stuff, and she sent that to, like, everyone in the whole school, and that's why Maddie kind of almost has a meltdown or whatever. And at that point I was going, you could actually probably call the police on this chick.
Yeah.
Because that's bullying and probably harassment and child pornography and 50 other kinds of illegal.
So that kind of segues into the adult people.
Problem.
Yeah. It's kind of known that, you know, when you're a teenager and you don't really want to tell your parents everything or talk to adults, but in this book, it just gets to the point where if you're not talking to someone about this, then you're just making it worse for yourself.
Yeah.
Like, I love the line where it's like, oh, we can't tell anyone because she could go into therapy. And I think I wrote in the book somewhere, well, I think you all really need therapy. Because
it just blows your mind.
It's...
Yeah. So, yeah, okay, so... Oh, Zoe has this problem with her teacher, and, you know, it starts off kind of innocent, where there's
it's innocent till, like, the last eighth of the book.
Yeah, it's very true. Basically, all they do is go to church and talk about the Bible, and, you know, kind of share some feelings. And then I think one time he kind of puts a hand on her knee for a second, which kind of weirds her out a little bit, but she's like, whatever, it's fine. Mm-hmm. And then and then at the very last bit of the book, Zoe, the teacher's like, oh, well, I'm house sitting for someone and they have a hot tub, so bring your bikini. And that was the last straw for her.
And I love how when this happens, that Angela is just like, oh, your bikini, don't worry about it. Your friend has just told you what you have been teasing her about for like the last
while.
200 pages of the book. But now that it's actually happening, all you can focus on is her bikini. And lending her a bikini if she doesn't have a bikini. That blew my mind.
Lending her a bikini for the creepy-ass teacher that she does not want to see.
Yeah.
Thanks for all your help.
It's... I don't know, it's almost like a warped version of teenagerhood. Because all of the stuff that they focus on is the stuff that, you know, you don't really focus on.
Well, that's not exactly a bad thing.
Yeah. But it felt like, I guess, to like the structure of the book, it just felt like if you mention something enough over and over again, then that's kind of, that comes off as alluding to it.
Yeah.
So you can say, oh, I talked to the teacher, oh, I talked to the teacher, oh, I talked to the teacher, oh, the teacher's hitting on me.
Yeah. I can see that. Yeah. But... let's see. What else do we want to talk about? Oh, it's completely gone. Yeah, anything else you want to go on about?
I guess the obsession with boys.
Oh, that's pretty typical.
It's so funny.
Oh, there's nothing really wrong with that, but yeah, they go on a lot about boys. And
Angela needing a boyfriend, and all of them, everybody but one person kind of comes out with a boyfriend, and that's because the teacher was the prospect boyfriend. It makes you wonder where they can go with the sequels.
Oh, they got 2 more years of high school.
Yeah, I'm interested in the grade 12 year, because, you know, that's when everybody's going to be going off to university after that, so...
Oh, they're still going to separate colleges.
Oh, it would be beautiful, because, you know, they all want to go to the same school, but so-and-so's interested in this, and so-and-so's interested in that, and so-and-so's interested in this.
Now, I really
but so they stop talking, and then at the end of the book they realize they've wasted their final year. Am I getting this spot on? Or?
You're probably right, and I will refer back to it when we get there. Yeah.
Oh, the bad morals. That's what we wanted to talk about.
Oh.
The bad morals.
Oh dear, they were bad. Some of them were really bad. Oh, I wanted to talk about the gross out moments.
Okay, we'll do the gross out moments first then.
Okay. They were bad. Some of them were really bad, and they feel like they were just written in to be like, look, we're talking about forward teenage things that curious teenagers would talk about. But oh my god, I don't think I ever talked about stuff like that. And
no.
And I talked about a lot of crap as a kid, but I never talked about stuff like that.
I can vouch for you. No, you didn't.
I don't think you did. I don't think any of my friends did.
When we were in high school, we sat in the same spot every day for lunch. There was a group of us. We sat in the business hallway. And we ate our lunch. And we pretty much talked about nothing.
Well, we talked about nothing and everything.
Yeah, we talked about, you know, filming stuff and the tragedies of people switching to different schools, but it was never like, oh my god.
Well, okay, so maybe you wouldn't talk about that in the school hallway, and we're talking about to like we're talking about, they mentioned period farts and and just and they talk about one of the girl's older brother's girlfriends and
Pelt woman.
yeah, they call her Pelt Woman. That was pretty good, but they're talking about how she doesn't shave at all.
Oh, no, she shaves, but she doesn't shave.
I thought she didn't shave in her arms too.
Did she? I don't remember.
Whatever, it's not important. But yeah, so they talk about things in ways that, you know, they're really trying to be forward. I might be wrong. Maybe other people do talk about it, but it seemed unrealistic to me.
It was pretty much just like, oh look, we're talking about this because
we're curious teenagers
and you're gonna relate to us.
Yeah, that was basically it.
Like, even the way they handled talking about sex was the same way. It was just like, sex. I understand sex in teen books because, yeah, it's a big...
It's fine.
Yeah.
It's just
it's
there.
how it's handled. Like, in this book... Other books we've read,
What were you mouthing?
Not handled well. Not handled well at all.
Yeah, it really wasn't, and...
Makes me think of an interview that John Green did talking about, because there was a huge rise up in his one book, Looking for Alaska. There's a sex scene, and all these parents were like, oh, don't read the book, don't read the book. And he's just like, teenagers talk about it, it's gonna happen, you can't really stop it from happening. But the way he handles it is much more, I guess, more realistic in the fact that's how it would probably happen, not just we're putting it in here just to put it in here. It flows better.
Yeah. Okay, morals. Sorry.
Morals. Okay, back to Pelt Woman. Beauty standards. This book pretty much says that, you know, you can't be pretty unless you shave, you wear makeup,
you wear the right clothes.
You wear the right clothes. That really irks me.
Yeah. It wasn't in there like blatantly, but it was in the subtext, and that's almost worse because then it's harder to look at, right? So.
Yeah, because Angela has this thing where when she's going out, when she's on I Am with whoever, she describes exactly what she wears down to the T and down to the specific makeup she's using and down to the specific perfume. And, you know, she's always harping on Zoe?
I think it was Zoe.
Zoe, about how Zoe really, she's pretty, she just needs to push herself to be pretty because, you know, she just needs to put on the makeup. And that was... Okay, you know what, friends, they do that, like, whatever, but to the level that it was being done in this book, it was like Zoe needed to be converted. It was a full-on conversion. And I don't think that's what we want to be telling our young people.
No, or at least, you know what, put it in there, but also put in another option.
Yeah.
Right? Like, there's no easy answers to things, but...
Yeah.
I don't know.
You're pretty much force-feeding through these characters that you need to like boys. Remember, there was that whole thing about where the one character, the friend of the popular girl, called the popular girl a lesbian. And
that was the end straw.
Yeah, and
that girl just flipped out. That was when she posted the video. Wasn't it?
Because the friend called her a lesbian, and then she was driving with whoever, and then she brought it up again, and then that's when the video was posted.
Yeah, so basically one friend mentioned the word lesbian, and then the popular girl freaked out and posted the video and got all nasty. And
so we're pretty much just saying that, you know, in this book, it's like, okay, you have to like boys. So anything else is out of the scope. You're not normal unless you... It's reinforcing.
Watch, one of the characters will become a lesbian and this whole critique will be useless.
Whatever. But... Oh, and then there was was it somebody called someone something and then the other friend corrected them? Was that the being a lesbian? And then they said retard in the same breath, and then that went unchecked.
That went unchecked.
Like, that was okay. You can
Yeah. Yeah. When one friend was like, "Oh, that's so gay," and then
Oh, there we go, yeah.
the other girl was like, "No, you can't say that because this, this, and this," and then it goes on to go, "That's retarded," and there you go. It was left. That's okay, but that's gay. No, don't say it. I'd say they're on the same level, but
Yeah.
So anyways, I think that's everything except the cover, which we kind of talked about. It's cute.
Adorable. It looks harmless.
It's clever.
It's inviting. It doesn't... When I used to work at the bookstore, I actually had people, coming up and asking me for this book, and so the one day I opened it up and I saw Chat Speak, and I remember just my mind being blown and deciding that I was never on my father's grave going to read this book.
Well, look where you are now.
Yeah, here I am reading it.
The things we submit ourselves to.
Yeah.
So yeah. If you want to laugh, read it. I recommend you share it with somebody. It makes it a lot easier. Write in it. Do whatever you have to do.
Make it your own.
Apparently it's slightly addicting. We'll get back to you on that. And basically pick it up if you want to, but you've been warned about things in the book.
Yeah.
Alright, so we'll see you next time with the next book, which is, I think, Beauty Queens.
Lippa Bray.
And it is going to be awesome. So, see you guys next time.
I get by with a little help from my friends. Yeah, I get high with a little help from my friends.